They're pleased the government is taking action, but worried that because of his name, the boy will continue to face problems traveling once he turns 18. Tom Harry, CBC News, Ottawa.
The Liberal government has chosen former Toronto Police Chief Bill Blair to take a lead role in its plan to legalize marijuana. Last month, the rookie MP was named as one of two parliamentary secretaries of justice. Now, Blair will be the fourth person to head the government's task force on marijuana. Legalizing pot was a key campaign promise for the Liberals. Closing arguments wrapped up this afternoon in the murder trial of a Toronto police officer. Constable James Forcillo was charged with murder after shooting 18-year-old Sammy Yatim on a streetcar more than 2 years ago. The court case has captivated the city since it began in October. The CBC's James Murray has been following the trial and joins me in studio.
Martina, it's a sign of our times that the star witness in this murder trial isn't really a witness at all. It's a series of videos made by passers-by the night police constable James Forcillo confronted teenager Sammy Yatim. This is July 2013, nearly midnight. Yatim, high on ecstasy, has already cleared out a streetcar by waving around a switchblade and his exposed penis. On courtroom monitors, we can clearly see Yatim inside. The police roll up outside. Forcillo, and only Forcillo, opened fire, shooting 3 times, fatally puncturing the teen's heart, severing his spine, smashing his arm. Then after a pause, 6 more shots you can hear there. These videos were on the web almost immediately. We saw those in court, along with transit security video from inside that streetcar. They played out on big screen TVs in the courtroom, sometimes synced, so we could see many angles at once. Sammy Yatim's mother has been in the courtroom, flinching when the crack of a bullet is heard, lowering her head at times as her son is seen falling to the floor. The interpretation of this video is the key argument of this trial.
Well, James, let's get to those arguments now, starting with Officer Forcillo and the defense.
Who says this was a police decision, not a crime. Forcillo has testified Yatim looked like he wanted to fight, not talk. The defense says Yatim got himself shot by advancing. If he'd obeyed when Forcillo yelled, "Drop the knife," he'd be alive today.
But the charge is murder, and the Crown is calling Forcillo a murderer.
Yes, calling Forcillo a liar when he testified he felt his life was in danger, and a murderer because police training says try to talk a knife wielder down first. Take your time. Shoot as a last resort. The video shows James Forcillo open fire within seconds of arriving on the scene, something that bothers friends of the family still. This is Joseph Nazar.
This man basically, he took a life of a young man and basically in 60 seconds. It took his parents 18 years to raise this boy. In 60 seconds, they decided that, this is the decision he made, and basically it was a bad decision.
The video shows that decision, shows the story. How and why it happened, though, was this murder? That's what's left for the jury to decide.
Thank you, James.
All right.
That is the CBC's James Murray in Toronto.
I'm Carolyn Dunn in Airdrie, where they're trying a new way to help nervous new parents.
It's a bit terrifying because there's just so much that you're expected to know.
I'll tell you why a Finnish approach to parenting is being tried in Alberta. Later on The World at 6.
Del gobierno de la República lograron detener a Joaquín Guzmán Loera.
Mexican President Enrique Peña announces that the country's most wanted man has been recaptured. Fugitive drug kingpin Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán escaped from a maximum security prison through an underground tunnel last summer. Guzmán heads up Mexico's notorious Sinaloa cartel and has escaped from prison twice. He's considered one of the most powerful drug traffickers in the world, with connections in more than 40 countries. Guzmán's prison break was an embarrassment in Mexico, which had proclaimed his arrest as a crucial step in ridding the country of organized crime. Egyptian government officials say 3 foreign tourists were wounded in a knife attack by suspected militants at a hotel in the Red Sea resort city of Hurghada. Police opened fire on the assailants, killing one and seriously wounding the other. The tourists were from Austria and Sweden. All were taken to hospital. One was treated and released. For the first time since the Nazi era, copies of Adolf Hitler's racist manifesto went on sale in Germany today. Entitled Mein Kampf, or My Struggle, the book has been kept out of print for 70 years by the government of Hitler's home state of Bavaria, which held the copyright. American historian Thomas Berger says allowing German publication is a symbolic reversal of German policy.
I think Germany today is far more confident than Germany was in the 1950s, 60s, or even 70s or 80s about the strength of their democratic institutions, that they can afford, the public can be exposed to that kind of language, that kind of thinking, and reject it for what it is. The other thing is, of course, that technology has changed. It's been long possible for people to easily get access to the Mein Kampf and other types of vile propagandas.
The new version contains extensive entries by prominent historians who contradict Hitler's many outlandish claims about race and history in Germany. Scientists think they've discovered new information about ancient human migration patterns. When the last ice age ended, it was thought that humans moved into Europe from North Africa and the Middle East. But research done on a 5,000-year-old corpse found in the Alps may force a rewrite of that migration theory. Justin Hayward has the story.
4 years ago, the 5,300-year-old alpine mummy known as Ötzi was briefly unfrozen. National Geographic cameras captured it all. Scientists poked, prodded, took samples. One said they had gathered enough for 50 scientific papers. One of those papers is based on the contents of his stomach, a heavy meal, ibex, a wild European mountain goat. Albert Zink heads the European Academy of Bolzano's Institute for Mummies and the Iceman.
So we wanted to know this project whether on the one hand it worked, because it's less than the most, but also demonstrate material effectiveness in our community. That's one theory which is particularly interesting for research.
It's called the primordial of happenings on Earth carrying. So the Iceman, Iceland, Nigeria was easy. Studies genetics and evolutionary biology at the University of Venda in South Africa.
This mixing of two bacterial populations can only ever happen if humans actually come together. And by coming together, I mean intimately. So